Put your X's up. Oh, wow. I love you too. It's about time that we're here. It's about time that we start to recover from the scourge of COVID-19, but it's about time that I get to nominate my brother, my friend, Lieutenant Governor Brian Benjamin. The Empire State, 20 million strong. I'm a proud American, a proud Democrat, a proud Bronxite, as you know. And I'm proud to deliver this nominating speech from my friend Brian Benjamin. You see, it's an honor to be here. And as I reflect on who I am and how I got here, it's not lost on me that as the great-great-great-grandson of Sylvia Richardson Holder, a woman who was born into slavery, that this convention is taking place during Black History Month. I remind you that we are not that far removed from the vestiges of slavery. So I'm lucky, you see, I serve in the house of ASC. Yeah, you know me. You see, I came up under the tutelage of Speaker Hasty, the first of his kind. I serve with Crystal Peoples Stokes. I serve on the same floor as our history-making AG. Our mayor is Eric. Our speaker is Adrian. I come from the borough of Vanessa and Darcel. What a time to be alive. The ancestors are shining down upon us, and they shine down upon someone else. Our Lieutenant Governor, Brian Benjamin. You see, Brian Benjamin is like Black history. It's a living document like the Constitution. It continues to write itself. It prevails through the form of his daughters, Caroline and Olivia. It prevails through my daughters, Giada and Karina. It writes itself throughout the history of this great state. And Brian Benjamin is the product of dreams realized. You see, when Brian was nominated to be our lieutenant governor, I was extremely happy for him, and I tweeted something, but I made one error. I said, it's all about the Benjamins, baby. Now, you know I'm a hip-hop fan because I'm from the birthplace of hip-hop, the undisputed birthplace of hip-hop.
It is what it is.
Y'all know.
Going so well.
Y'all know. It's a classic song indeed. But dare I say I was wrong because it's never been all about the Benjamins. The Benjamins have been all about New York. So when you look at his parents, Yvonne and Alvin, immigrants from Guyana and Jamaica, give them a round of applause. They're all about New York. The Benjamins are all about New York, my friends. Amazing people who wanted more for their son. And his amazing better 99%, his wife Kathleen. A dynamic public servant in her own right. She's all about New York. Brian Benjamin is our dreams realized. From Brown University to Harvard Business School to public service. Brian Benjamin could have done anything in the world that he wanted to do, but he chose to serve us in the state Senate, where I got a chance to really know Brian the person. Brian the girl dad. Brian the hip-hop fan. Brian the person who wants to do great things for his community but doesn't want you to know exactly what he's doing because he's doing it from the goodness of his heart. That's Brian Benjamin. He's a member that had such an expertise that a committee was created for him. You see, prior to Brian Benjamin's election to the state Senate, there was no committee called Budget and Revenue. I want you to think about the acumen that this man has, the ability that he has in so many arenas, in so many ways, but that's not the only reason why I'm so proud to support him. He's dedicated. He's loyal. He's someone that you want to be in a foxhole with. You see, since he's ascended to being the LG, he's listened to the community. He's heard out our Latino brothers and sisters. Brian's been there. He's defended the LGBTQIA community in not just words, but in action, because Brian has been there. When we said that we collectively couldn't breathe and we protested, guess what? Brian has been there. Responding to hate crimes against our Asian community, responding to condemn anti-Semitism, and there to show respect to law enforcement when a member has made the ultimate sacrifice and bravery. Brian's been there. But in these times, my friends, I urge us as Democrats to not fall for the oldest trick in the book, the divide and conquer strategy. You see, we are united by a common thread, but sometimes people like to pull on that thread to try to unravel the sweater that we've knitted. You see, like many of us during this Black History Month, we like to quote the words of Dr. King, and I think about one of my favorite speeches, "I've been to the mountaintop." Now, what did he see from that proverbial mountaintop? I don't know what he saw, I can't say, but I can imagine that it was not a future laden with an attempt to make it harder for people to vote. I can imagine it was not a future where people would be so politically divisive. I can imagine it wasn't a world where people who love to quote him in one side do exactly the opposite of what he wanted to do in the same breath. But my friends, what unites us is greater than what could ever divide us. What I want you to realize that bacalao is the same thing as saltfish, my brothers and sisters. Callaloo and collard greens, they're green vegetables, just got a different little bit of flavor. Beef patties, empanadas, and dumplings, very similar. Carolina and Carolina are spelled the same exact way, just pronounced a little different. And nobody gets that more than Brian Benjamin. He's been to so many counties in his tenure as LG. He's lost count, I've lost count, but I know you haven't lost count because you've seen him there on the ground with the recovery from COVID-19. You've seen him there recovering and making sure that he fights the scourge of gun violence. You have seen Brian Benjamin in action. We can work on criminal justice and public safety at the same time because Brian and I did that in the state Senate. We can work on food justice and access to food and taxation at the same time because Brian Benjamin has done that. We can protect homeowners and tenants at the same time. Guess what? Because Brian's done it. Record education funding, understanding the root causes of violence. Guess what? In last year's budget, Brian helped us pass it, and he's done it. From the major Deegan to Mohegan Lake, from Co-op City to Chautauqua, from the Bronx to Broome County, and from Hamburg to Harlem. Brian's been there. Now, when you think of a partner for a history-making governor, you need somebody that can Harlem shake and walk all at the same time. And that's Brian Benjamin. He knows what New York needs, and we need to support him. Now, New York, we can climb to the top of our very own mountain range, the Adirondacks. And as the sun rises to welcome another day, we yell from the top of the Adirondacks, our mountaintops, that we have someone that loves all New Yorkers and is building a coalition of New Yorkers who believe in him, in his vision, because he believes in us, in ours. We may not talk about Bruno, but we damn sure talk about Brian. And I proudly second the nomination. I proudly nominate, my friend, my brother, our Lieutenant Governor, the King of Harlem, Brian Benjamin.